That's my doctor.
She's my doctor too, in a strange way, right? So thank you for that introduction, Kat. And I have to say that it's an honor for both Andrew and I to be here. And Andrew has asked me, on behalf of both of us, to first start by saying thank you to each and every one of you. Our lives, Andrew's life has been touched twice by cancer, and he's been treated twice for cancer. But it's not only Andrew's life who's been touched by cancer. I have, our 3 children have, and those who support us have been touched. And the work that Andrew and I do is to help patients and their supporters understand and feel supported and educated in order to get in dialogue with each other and with you. So I want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you, whether you're scientists or you work in clinical trials or you're part of a medical team. You all have so many obstacles and hoops that you have to jump through in order to do the great work that you do. And we're very aware of it. We've been in labs and seen how hard scientists work and how many trial and errors there are and how much paperwork there is. But at the very end of all of that work, I have Andrew today as my partner in life and in business for 33 years. And it's that your work is the beginning of what's driven us to do what we do today. And so I'm going to let Andrew talk a little bit about what we do and his story.
Thank you. I'll just give you a little background. So I was diagnosed through a routine blood test with chronic lymphocytic leukemia in 1996 and had the watch and wait that some people have, or watch and worry in CLL. And then I was in an MD Anderson phase 2 trial when rituximab was paired with fludarabine and cyclophosphamide. So I was patient number 60 in that trial. And I had no CLL treatment for 17 years. And along the way, though, of course, with the toxicity that can go, or who knows why, I developed a second cancer, for which I see Cat for myelofibrosis. So I'm very plugged in to fedratinib for sure. And yet I've been on a drug that's been working for me, ruxolitinib. I've learned the V617F inhibitor has been working for me for 5.5 years. So whoever developed that drug, I'm very grateful for that. Should I need fedratinib at some point, believe me, I'm listening carefully. And then I had a second monoclonal antibody just 6 months ago with Dr. Kipps, and that is obinutuzumab or Gazyva, and we'll have a bone marrow biopsy next week to see for both conditions how I'm doing. So we're waiting to see. But I really get it, I mean, personally, how much it means to me what you do. So Esther alluded to what we do. So we have a website, patientpower.info, that has about 70,000 visits from patients with these conditions and other cancer conditions a month. And then we have a social media page, we're talking about Facebook, where we reach about 100,000 other people. And that's called the Cancer Connection on Facebook. And I guess the point of all this is, as we're living with chronic myelofibrosis, chronic CLL, we're learning. And so, you know, Carl or Katrina, they're like celebrities to our folks. And they're learning, they're reading the papers, they're learning, they're coming in with the information. And so we are increasingly can be your partners. And Esther, I know you wanted to talk about that a little more.
Sure, I can talk a little bit about how we do this. So we're talking about a website and we're talking about social media, but the substance of that includes our going to large medical conferences where we interview Katrina, we interview other leading physicians, we interview oncology nurses, we interview other patient advocates and people who are running organizations to help support patients. And that's the basis for our content on our website. We also go to smaller conferences like this one, or we're going next month or the month after to Canada to a CLL support group there to talk to them, to find out what's happening in Canada, and to find out what are the other support mechanisms globally. What else do we do?
Well, we're doing programs like this all the time, and so people are asking questions. So Kat's been part of that. Previously, we've interviewed Carl and others from the Abramson Cancer Center. And so our message to you is that patients as partners, right? And although we don't have PhDs and we don't know so much more that you do about science and research, we begin to learn a lot about our condition. And we can increasingly have dialogue about not just what's out there now, but what may be coming. So, Carl, yesterday I was reading an article about allogeneic CAR Ts. Now, I'll later corner you to learn more about it. Maybe been talking about it here, but patients are going to say, well, will that allow better therapies or less expensive therapies? Because you were talking about the cost, and we know, as the director of the hospitals was talking about, how CAR Ts, if the hospital has to pay for it, can break the bank. So basically, how can any of this be done with less, what did you call it, adverse events to the wallet? Wallet adverse events. So we're talking about that too.
I just want to mention one other thing that, and we were talking to some folks who are early stage researchers at lunch today about the fact that in the last, 15, 20 years, there are so many more survivors of some of these illnesses that were not survivable that meant just a few years ago. And so we have people like Andrew who go through one set of treatment and then maybe they're not cured, but they go through a long period of survivorship and then say, okay, well, when might the other shoe drop? And then we need a plan B. And so the need to understand what that plan B might be is why patients and their loved ones and advocates want to understand what's in the pipeline, not just what's available now, because it's going to become important in the future.
So I got to be one of the patients on a panel with your group related to Sirmtuzumab. So believe me, I'm listening carefully. Can that, even in the earliest trials, be a plan B or C for me? Or Fedratinib we talked about. I remember we were doing a town meeting at MD Anderson, hundreds of patients, and then poof, then it went away. And we were all saying, well, wait a minute, is there a way around it? And Kat and I have talked about this a lot. So this is what gives us hope, and also we want to be part of that dialogue. Maybe we'll be in a trial, maybe we'll rattle cages with the FDA, maybe if we have the wherewithal, we'll help contribute to your research. So I guess the underlying message for us, to you, is some of you are already out of your research silo and you're talking to the public. And certainly it should be done in a responsible way and not create false hope. But have the dialogue. We can handle it, you know. Put it in perspective, the pros, the cons, the hurdles you have to get through, the questions that still have to be answered. But treat us as partners in what you're working on, because we welcome that and we want to do it. And fortunately, more of us are living with these conditions where we can be part of that dialogue, we can learn about it, and hopefully we can take advantage of what you've done. And again, for the breakthroughs you've created for me, thank you. For the ones that seem coming to a clinic near us, thank you. And also recognize that, you know, we are trying to have your back. Just give us the chance. Thank you.
Thank you.